So today I'm here to present my project. I did my paper on the hiring process of police officers. I did this project because I've seen there's a lot of conflict. Many agencies are using different hiring steps to hire police officers. They have different qualifications, and I just feel the police officers go through a lot right now, and I think it's demanding, and sometimes a lot is expected of them. The qualifications for law enforcement officers are different. I did mine on Manatee County, Sarasota County, Sarasota City Police, Bradenton Police, San Antonio County, San Antonio City Police, Houston County Sheriff, and Houston City Police. Law enforcement officers, police officers, and deputy officers, they all have the same duties, and that is to serve and protect the public. However, I believe that there are demanding qualifications. Law enforcement officers are going through lengthy hiring process. It can take anywhere from 4 to 9 months to hire them. Qualifications are as demanding as the hiring process. Qualifications are becoming the first elimination for applicants. So if some agencies require for you to have a degree, some require you only to have certification to go to the academy, and some require both, go to college and have certification. So I believe that having both college and certification is a lot of money spent because it requires you a lot. However, my suggestion would be if you would get hired with a college degree, they can pay for you to go to the academy, or if you have the academy, they can pay for you to go to college.
Wow.
So the law enforcement qualifications for Florida, the Sarasota City Police. The city is responsible for dealing with the hiring of police officers. Applicants can obtain and fill out an application online in the city website. The minimum qualifications becoming a police officer in city of Sarasota are high school diploma or GED, 10.0 on the TAPE test. The TAPE test measures adult basic abilities test, which means just general education to see reading comprehension and math. So you have to get at least a 10.0 for you to be able to get hired. If you don't want to take the TAPE test, then you have to have a college degree. That's 2 years of college. This would make it harder for applicants to apply. Holding an associate's degree should be sufficient education, and it shows that the applicant has the ability to perform the job. Like I said, I believe that the college degree shows enough education that you shouldn't have to, on top of that, take a TAPE test when you already have enough education from college. In the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office, they require you to have certification. They don't care if you have a college degree. You have to have both certification and college degree. So the sheriff is different. The Florida also has state law enforcement on top of everything. They're from FDLE, Florida Department of Law Enforcement, and is to promote public safety and strength domestic security by providing services in partnerships with local, state, and federal criminal justice agencies. They investigate and solve crimes while protecting Florida's citizens and visitors. The duties for these officers: they enforce fish and wildlife laws and regulation, federal rules and regulations, and voting safety enforcement. They also provide general support to the citizens. For you to be hired with the state law enforcement, you have to be 19 years of age, a U.S. citizen, high school diploma, valid driver's license, no felony or misdemeanors, and found of good moral character. For this position, you must be certified. If not, if you don't pass the TAPE test. They don't have on their website that you require a college degree, but From my opinion, I think it's because they want the certification instead of the college degree. The state of Texas also employs both city and county law enforcement. Houston Police Department employs police officers. The qualifications for police officers in Houston are 48 semester credit hours from college with an average grade point 2.0 or minimum of 18 months of active duty. Or you can be certified from the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement. Again, you must not have any misdemeanors. You must be a U.S. citizen and pass the physical abilities test, pass reading comprehension test, and must have a valid driver's license. The same thing for their sheriff's department, but for this one, you have to be 21 years of age. So some of the agencies take you at 19 years old, and some of them take you at 21. So that must be a little confusing if you're in one state and you want to be a police officer. You can't because you don't have the age, or you might not have the requirements. So I think that's a lot of demanding for the police officers. In general, like I mentioned, these counties have a lot of qualifications, and their hiring process is long. Like I mentioned, it takes anywhere from 4 to 9 months to get hired. Listing the different law enforcement agencies within Florida and Texas shows qualifications are long and demanding. One of the qualifications that are questionable is the need for a degree. So why is it so important for them to have a degree? According to an article, they have better communication skills, better writing skills, more tolerant, clear thinking skills, a better understanding of policing and the criminal justice system. College-educated officers also deal better with changes, use innovative techniques, and took less sick time. Less likely to use deadly force, better prepared for the courts. So having a degree as a police officer can actually show better judgment. They're more likely to be more responsible in their jobs. So if you hold a college degree, it might look better on top of being certified. Education is not as demanding as part of the qualification for law enforcement. When used, however, in conjunction, it could be more money spent. There are applicants which pursue a career right out of college. Education was very important since the 1900s. It was not exactly thought of as college education when applying, but getting education when served in an agency. There is importance in recruitment and selection of law officers. This is another reason why qualifications and the hiring process is so important. There is a need to have a better recruitment system. We do need better police officers, but I don't think the hiring process should be as long as it is right now. I think that there should be more efficiency. One of the examples is that of the polygraph test. A lot of people believe that it's not fair that it's used. Polygraph is also used to detect and suspect criminal cases. As many have known, the polygraph is not used in court cases anymore because it's not true science. It's not an actual science. So they don't use it, so why should law enforcement agencies use it to hire their police officers? They are inadmissible in court because it is not a true science. They do not rise the level of reliability required for scientific evidence. So why is it that they are not reliable in court? They are still used in the hiring process of law enforcement in civilian positions. Many courts have looked into the use of polygraph in hiring process for applicants. But the outcome is that each agency is acting in its own self-interest to protect dishonest and unmoral and deceiving applicants. So they still use, there's been a lot of suits that have been filed due to many applicants don't believe that the hiring process should have the polygraph test. but the courts have ruled that the agency has a right to use it. It's in their best interest to find the best candidates. If an applicant is seriously considering a career in law enforcement, they should look into state and local statutes regarding the use of polygraph in the hiring process. Another test is the psychological exam. 91% of people said that they had this exam done. The psychological test is also questionable. The duties of an officer might not always be what they have in that psychological exam. It's another exam that shouldn't be used in the law enforcement. There's different types of psychological exams that are done. Research concludes that there is no evidence to support that the use of a psychological evaluation benefits law enforcement agencies in the hiring of officers. So the psychological exam doesn't really prove anything. In my opinion, it should be really eliminated. With the examination of different qualifications in the hiring process of law enforcement, certain suggestions and changes to help the ability of hiring more officers. One of the suggestions is consolidation and regionalization and shared services. By this is, if police officers had less duties, then they wouldn't be required to have so much exams, so much testing. If the community would have different agencies working different parts, then law enforcement wouldn't have to work as hard. For example, they serve as social workers as well. They go to homes, make sure everything's okay. They go to domestic violence victims. If we were to eliminate that and maybe put them out more to serve and protect, they wouldn't have to go through so much stuff, like psychological evaluations and all this. Social workers don't have to go through all this, the exams and all this. Why should police officers have to go through a lengthy process? I understand they have to get the best candidate, but a pre-screening would be better just to see if they fit the position. Because another point I bring out is that the law enforcement agencies spend a lot of money on these exams. You have to have money on the equipment, you have to have the people administering the test, so that's more money spent and time. The background check can run anywhere from 6 weeks to 3 months, and I believe that shouldn't be it. Why should some background checks be more efficient than others? For example, there was a Manatee County, they had a background check, and it's been 6 weeks, and they said that they still haven't gotten to this one because they're getting the background checks that they need first. So why is one background check more important than the other? So I just think it should be done within a week, a background check. The background check consists of criminal activity, credit check, personality check. It is a lot of steps, but if we take it step by step, efficiency, I believe, is the key. To conclude, my last suggestion would be the hiring process to be less aggressive and not as long. The suggestions include pre-screening of police officers just to make sure they fit the right criteria. If you pre-screen them and make sure this is what this candidate really wants to be an officer and they fit the requirements, then let's move on. If that first pre-screening doesn't work, then you know what, we don't have to go on. We don't have to waste the resources and all the time doing the test. Sometimes the officers, let's say, get to the polygraph test and they don't make it. They just spent all that time and they were just dropped from the hiring process because they didn't pass that one exam. So I just feel like getting their hopes up and not completely finishing the process is not good The process can be shortened by reducing the amount of time needed to complete background checks. And the background process should be more efficient in the sense that each step from the credit check, background check, criminal check, etc. should be done in a shorter amount of time. Overall, the qualifications of law enforcement are becoming more demanding and the hiring process has become longer with unnecessary steps, including exams such as polygraph and psychological exams. So in conclusion, I believe the hiring process and qualifications are too demanding for officers. I understand why some of them are, but I think we can be more efficient in this hiring process from state to county to city. So, thank you.